Hi, everybody! We're back to recommend more suggestions for titles that you can get for free with your Carmel Clay Public Library card. I'm Catherine, and I'm joined today by Susan from our Joyce Winter West branch, and we're going to share some comfort reads for you. In times of stress and uncertainty, there are few things more comforting than your beloved book. Susan, what's your comfort read?
Well, I just finished recently The Book Charmer by Karen Hawkins. The book was published in 2019. We are introduced to the Dove family, who long ago established the town of Dove Pond, North Carolina. In present day, Sarah Dove is the town librarian. She always seems to know exactly the right book for her fellow townspeople when they need to read it. And the books talk to her. And in the end, they are now telling her that their new transplant, Grace Wheeler, is going to help Dove Pond's resurgence. Grace Wheeler would like to disagree. She has enough on her plate raising her precocious niece and trying to take care of her mother, who is slowly succumbing to Alzheimer's. It's not her problem that the town has been operating in the red for years, but Grace slowly learns that she does care about this town, the residents, and the sense of community that they bring. I want to move to Dove Pond. I wish books would talk to me. My reader advisory skills would be off the charts. This book made me feel happy, comforted, and it's exactly the kind of book I want to read during these difficult times. I'm sure it's a book I will read again, and I look forward to the second book in the series. The Book Charmer is available in print, large print, and an ebook on our library catalog. What about you, Catherine?
It's so funny you mentioned that. Have you ever seen The Good Witch on TV? That always reminds me a little bit of The Good Witch, but I have something that's a little different, and it is a classic called Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons. Have you read this? You have to read this. I know Susan is a huge Jane Austen fan, so Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons was published in 1932, and it is a satire. It's a comedy, and it pokes fun at some of these subgenre novels that center on the misery and doom and gloom and drama of some of these English farm books like Thomas Hardy, Wuthering Heights. And our heroine is Miss Flora Post. And Miss Post, who herself is a fan of Jane Austen, is recently orphaned at 19, and she's thinking about her skill set and what she could do for a living to support herself, and she discovers that her best option, she thinks, is to go mooch off of some country relatives. So she writes a letter to these long lost distant relatives who live out in the country, and she gets this response back. This is one of my favorite letters in any novel. Dear niece, so you are after your rights at last. I have expected to hear from Robert Post Child these last 20 years. Child, my man once did your father a great wrong. If you will come to us, I will do my best to atone, but you must never ask me what for. My lips are sealed. We are not like other folk. Maybe, but there have always been Stargadders at Cold Comfort, and we will do our best to welcome Robert Post Child. Child, Child, if you come to this doomed house, what is to save you? Perhaps you may be able to help us when our hour comes. Your affectionate aunt, Judith Starkadder. So it's so melodramatic, it's hilarious, and when you get that letter, she's like, well, this sounds interesting. Really bad still. She considers herself to be a modern city girl. She's like, I'm still expecting very bad situation, but it sounds interesting. So you get a sort of Jane Austen Emma character in Flora Post who sets herself upon modernizing her country relatives with her big city ways, and it's just hilarious. You get some really great characters in there. She has an aunt named Ada Doom, and her claim to fame throughout the book, her big quote she says over and over again is, I saw something nasty in the woodshed. You never find out, spoiler, what she saw in the woodshed. Stella Gibbons went on to give us two more glimpses into Cold Comfort with Christmas at Cold Comfort Farm and Conference at Cold Comfort Farm. It was also a great movie back in 2003 with Kate Beckinsale as Flora Post. We have the DVD of Cold Comfort Farm and the book available at the library. I highly recommend Cold Comfort Farm for a good laugh. Thank you to Susan for recommending The Book Charmer by Karen Hawkins. Happy reading to you all, and we will see you again soon.